Here we go here, Box of Bants, and I'm here with former world title challenger Jazza Dickens. Jazza, here we are in Pete Taylor's gym. This is the first time I'm speaking to you now, but I know you've been here for a while. But how are you like in Ireland?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's just like home really. Liverpool's more like Ireland than it is England, so yeah, it's just like home. Home from home. That's what I say. When I get here, I say it's home from home.
Yeah. What was the draw that brought you over here?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Solely pizza. That was it. I don't really think that nothing's out of reach for me with boxing terms. Like I've always given everything to do what I love to do, and I've got a family, but I always put boxing first, and I would have travelled anywhere. So wherever pizza was, I'll probably be there now.
Yeah. What's the next step for you at the moment? Like, I suppose you're kind of waiting for a fight to come about, like a big fight, because you've been on the cusp of world titles, and it seems like you're just kind of waiting for that next opportunity. What at the moment is on the horizon for you? Like,
I've got one fight lined up around October time. That's the latest I know. Don't know who, don't know where, but there's fights. The talks of a big fight with a man from your country.
Sorry?
A man from your country. Just in talks at the minute, so I'm not going to give too much away. But there's a man from your country who trains in my country, and I train in his country. So there's the clue there. But there's talks of a big fight there. Yeah.
Yeah, featherweight, yeah. So we'll just have to...
my weight.
Yeah. So we'll just have to guess on that one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, hard to guess. How many featherweights have you got?
Yeah.
But there's talks. Right now, with, just talks. Would you like to fight? Yes, of course. That's where we are now.
Yeah.
This man's got a fight coming up. So that's where we are.
That fight, UK, Ireland, do you have any idea? Any idea at the moment?
I'll let him get his fights out of the way. I get mine out of the way, and then we'll go into proper talks then.
Yeah.
Let's see where we are.
The first time I heard about you was, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. I listened to you in a podcast, and you were kind of talking about your upbringing, and I find it very interesting because it's quite common here in the inner city in Dublin. You grew up in a house where both your parents were addicts, and your father was a PE teacher, and you kind of knew about it, but like that was kind of just the norm for you, and the norm for a lot of inner city kids here. For you, like growing up in that environment, like what's it like for you looking back at it now? Do you think like that was mad, or do you think like it's just the norm? Like, you know?
Well, when you have kids yourself, you realise. Fuck me, I watched. I sat in a house where there was heroin every day of my life until I was about 16. So every single day of your life, it's normal. Know what I mean? But I had loving parents to the point where they taught me at the same time, this is wrong, lad. And that's what addiction is. They're powerless to their own actions, you know. And some people just cannot escape addiction, unfortunately. But yeah, my parents have turned their life around now. I've turned my life something very positive. I had good parents who taught me to do that too. Only thank God I had good parents, loving parents. My life turns out okay, theirs turns okay. And now me and my dad run a programme now where families of addiction, you lose your bond through addiction. A lot of families do. And when you get clean, they don't know each other because now they got a new parent. Who is this parent? You know what I mean? I don't know him clean. That was me when my half got clean. I didn't know him. So you have to find a way out to get a relationship again, and that's what we do. We facilitate every single weekend now. Families who come, we've had 3 programs. We've got our 4th one coming up on Sunday the 17th, and yeah, it's amazing now. And now we've used it to our benefit. You know what I mean? Now we're helping families to do the same.
Do you think it's mad how you didn't end up falling into that, because that's how it usually happens, like, and for you that the route that you went, do you find it mad that you didn't, like, do you almost feel like you're lucky? Like, I'm
lucky that I had parents who taught me what not to do, and almost at the same time they were harming themselves, begging me not to do the same. You know what I mean? I had a loving auntie in the same street. I was very, very lucky. I had a lot of kids didn't have. You know what I mean? There's a millionaire kids out there who haven't got no love from the parents, who got no time. You know what I mean? I've been guilty for that. I'm away from my kids a lot. Sometimes I wish I could be the parent that my parents was to me with my kids. I don't get the time, you know. So I think there's pros and cons to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, 2 parents who don't go to work, which I had. I had the time, the unconditional love every single day, to the point where I probably became spoiled, you know what I mean? Where a lot of kids don't even get to see the parents. They get to see them 2 hours a night when they come home from work, because he's a good dad and he works hard, blah, 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 but then he's got no time for the kids. So either way, it's, you could call that neglect, either way. What the fuck, how do you explain it? So, I don't know. I just know I had a lot of love for my parents and I'm grateful.
Yeah. There's a addiction a service centre just literally beside my house, and like I've volunteered and whatnot there a few times, but like you're talking about the people that have in upper class, middle class, and I suppose like a lot of the attitude is like, oh, they see homeless and they're just a bunch of junkies and all this kind of stuff, like, but like every homeless person, all that people are addicts, like every single one of them is a person, like, and one thing that one of the counsellors said to me in the centre was the only difference between the person at home who's an alcoholic or whatever, that maybe in your home or whatever it is, the difference between them and the person on the street is that they didn't have support around them, they didn't have certain support systems or family around them, and the drug was the only thing that actually like felt like there was giving them a hug, like. Do you feel like there's a massive stigma in between the classes in when it comes to addiction? Like?
Well, here's where I grew up around, what would you call them, crack houses? Crack houses, not where addicts go and they congregate, the addicts community. So I grew up around them places, loving people, warm people, kind to me, always caring, whatever they had, they give you, they share with you. But always, in the end, these young lads who were on the Charlie, as they call it, the rich man's drug, as they were calling it at the time. I seen this years and years ago. They would always end up in the crack houses with the heroin addicts, smoking crack. And then they go back out, they fucking zip their nice clothes up, and they go back out onto the streets where they look cool, you know what I mean? But they'd be in there for days, and that was the same. I used to see them, I used to think, what's the difference between my dad and your dad? Mine's on heroin, yours is on the coke, because yours sells it. He's a bit cool, mine's not, you know what I mean? I always recognised that as a kid. I didn't think it was fair, but maybe I had it a little bit wrong, because it weren't fair for all of us, you know what I mean? The Charlie heads, they been tricked as well. I believe the biggest trick is them believing that it was the rich man's drug and them falling into their ways, and addiction's addiction, no matter how you put it. So it's sad, really sad for everyone in that place. I think that the world needs a lot more loving, and addiction just divides families. If you look at it, going off on a bit of rant here, aren't we? Maybe fucking hell, speaking about boxing before, weren't we? But drugs, a lot of drugs was showed to children from a family member, even if it's have a go with a spliff lad. You know what I mean? That's normally the older cousin, innit? To then, what have you been doing over weekends? We have a Gary. We have Garys now. We don't have a Gary, have a Gary. And then have a line, and then that, like I say, have a line turns into, now I'm out for 3 days, turns into, now I'm in a crack house with loads of heroin addicts. Now they're in the crack house with heroin addicts, there's no crack, they have a go with the heroin. That's just the way it develops, you know what I mean? And you're all showed mostly by a family member. It's mad, at a young age, or a parent, or someone in your family. So it's sad, really. That's how it begins, but generation cycles need stopping. I believe that I've been that person in my own family. To stop, no, it's not carrying on, and I'll show my kids a new way of life. Hopefully I can do that. Not just for my kids, but the community, kids of the community, and also the kids who come into my project and see what Jazz has done with his life and what he can do.
Yeah. Do you think as well, the stigma also is that people from the outside seem to think that it's some sort of like a choice, like oh yeah, like there's a lot of recovering addicts in Ireland in boxing, like Stephen Sharp, who was manager, Graham McCormack, there is more, Eric Donovan, who are all in recovery, and Kenny Egan. And some people say to them, you chose this. As like, I didn't choose to be homeless. I didn't choose to be an addict. It's like someone have said to me, it's the first time that you're just dealing with something that's going on inside you, and people have different ways of dealing with things, going shopping, having a pint, and that was how they dealt with it. Do you feel like that's a big stigma in it?
Definitely, yeah. It's hard to. It's not even worth telling people who don't understand. You know what I mean, they don't understand because they don't understand. How can I show them? I can't. unfortunately, they have to be in the fucking unfortunate position to be powerless enough to understand these people, you know what I mean? So, I'm glad they don't understand, you know what I mean? Because they're not in that position, but yeah, I can understand how people who are powerless and they can't do nothing with their life apart from mask their feelings with any sort of substance, whatever that may be. They find one that's a little bit warmer, you know what I mean? As you could, a little bit more, numbs the feelings a little bit more, whatever that chosen drug may be. Could be even your phones. People don't realise they're on the phone all day now. Don't know why they're on the phone, but as soon as they start feeling something, you'll be in your pocket. Cover your feelings, just go on Instagram. Scroll. How many times a day do you do that? Look, just scrolling shit. Nah, I'm not watching it. Nah. And you get fuck that. You know what I mean? You don't even. I can go to Netflix now for hours and hours. I just fucking not gonna watch that. I've wasted 20 minutes. Yeah. What was I doing? Probably just covering my own feelings. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't know. That's what we do, innit? But some just go down really dark, addictive substances where it's not that you want to make this choice. Now you're in a position where you can't live without it. And that's what it does to people. You don't get a choice. You're getting strangled by this substance, you know what I mean? Fucking get me now and use me now, and that's the cycle. 2 or 3 times a day.
Right, so just to finish off on boxing there, in fairness, it was me. I was leading it down that path anyway. But because that's one thing that always stuck with me when I first heard you speaking about your life. Like, but what I was going to say was, you in boxing at the moment, like I've seen you train there, and you still look like you're very much young at heart. But at your age now, how much longer do you imagine? Do you have an end goal in your mind or anything like that?
No, when the Lord says it's up, innit? I enjoy it. I love it. I haven't achieved nowhere near what I want to achieve in the sport, so I've got that passion and that hunger to do what I set out to do. Still, I've still got the energy. I'm probably coming into my prime where I've also got the strength now as well. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of dedication. I could be at home. I've got 3 kids and a woman who I love deeply at home. I've got a nice life at home. I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I choose to be here. I live in a van because my life's so good at home. I'm so blessed at home. I have to put myself in a position. What I talk about the life of heroin as a kid. That dysfunctionality. That was my coming out of that. I found ways to do it. Them ways obviously build belief that I need to be in tough, hard positions to create that monster inside me which can succeed. Now I put myself in a van. That's what I do now, to make it hard for myself. I live in Dublin. I don't live anywhere. I can be in a hotel in Dublin for once. Sometimes I do, but I've got a van. I live in a converted van. Just because it's hard. That's who I am. I don't know if you ever looked into alter egos. Do work on alter egos. That's who Jazza is. He's that hard. He lives that hard life. I've got another alter ego, goes home to his family, does his business, he has a nice life, but then Jazza is Jazza, the hungry fighter, and that's who I am here. I like it.
I think it's. I suppose it is important at times. I suppose for people to almost split who they are when it comes to boxing. Really, like, and you do see that with a lot of people. Like, and I know some boxers say it almost like a joke to kind of build themselves. Like, but yeah, like I suppose there has to be that distinction because, as you will know from being around people in recovery, is that ego is a massive enemy when it comes to recovery, and like one thing that in recovery circles is ego will kill you if you keep that ego. Like, so I suppose it is important, I suppose, for you, like you said, to keep it separate from your real life. Like,
of course, I have to keep it separate. Yeah, I have to recognise who I am on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on a Monday morning, I have to recognise who the people are because it's totally different people. You know what I mean? I leave at 6 a.m. to get on a plane to fly to Ireland to get in the gym to spa at 11 a.m. You know what I mean? That's who I am on a Monday morning. On that way to the airport, in the airport, on the plane, I have to change that person. Now when I get here now, I'm fighter. I'm Jazza who works hard and trains hard. I can switch off once the hard work's done. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's hard switching off. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to start going into business, which can't be in boxing forever. You have to find other things to do with your spare time and stuff like that. I understand that now that I get older, but who am I then? Do you have to create an alter ego then? Because I don't want to be bringing that shit home to my family, so it's a lot to juggle, you know what I mean? But it's the price you have to pay if you want success, and I do want success, and I believe that anyone can work hard enough, they will get that success. So yeah, I'm just trying to find new ways to to live. I think we always grow, and it's a good thing, really.
Yeah. Right, well, Jazz, it was nice speaking to you. I know it wasn't that much about boxing, but yeah, no, I appreciate your time, and yeah, hopefully I'll be seeing you again. I might see you at the Fela anyway.
Yes, I might see you there. Thanks a lot.